Good morning. My name is Jibin. In this video lecture, I'm going to present about the topic steam nozzle in the subject thermal engineering 2. So the syllabus for steam nozzle is types and shapes of nozzles, flow of steam through nozzles, critical pressure ratio, variation of mass flow rate with pressure ratio, effect of friction, and metastable flow. So introduction to steam nozzle. Steam nozzle is a passage of varying cross section. So from entrance to exit, either the cross section increases, otherwise the cross section decreases. So in the first part of the nozzle, the steam increases its velocity, and the later part, the steam gains more volume than velocity. The mass of steam passing through the nozzle remains constant. So the steam nozzle converts heat energy of steam into kinetic energy by minimizing the losses. So in steam turbines, the steam nozzle is used to produce a jet of steam with high velocity. In nozzle, there is a smallest section, so it is called as throat. There are three main types of steam nozzles. So number one is convergent nozzle, number two is divergent nozzle, and number three is convergent divergent nozzle. So in convergent nozzle, as you can see, the from entrance to exit, the cross section get reduced. In divergent nozzle, from entrance to exit, the cross section is increased. In convergent divergent nozzle, there is entrance, throat, and exit. From entrance to throat, the cross section gradually decreases, and from throat to exit, the cross section gradually gets increased. So this type of nozzle is widely used in steam turbine plants. So the next topic is flow of steam through convergent divergent nozzle. So the steam enters the nozzle with high pressure with negligible velocity. So in convergent portion, there is a drop of pressure with rise in velocity of steam. There is drop in enthalpy also, which is converted into kinetic energy. So in divergent portion, there is further drop of steam pressure with a further rise in velocity. As you can know that the convergent divergent nozzle is, so mainly the nozzle is used to increase the velocity of steam. So the steam leaves the nozzle with high velocity and small pressure. So the pressure at which the steam leaves the nozzle is known as back pressure. So in nozzle, no heat is supplied or rejected by the steam. Hence, the flow of steam through nozzle is considered as isentropic flow, and the corresponding expansion is considered as isentropic expansion. Next topic is nozzle efficiency. So nozzle efficiency is denoted by the symbol K, and it is a ratio, it is defined as, it is the ratio of useful heat drop to the isentropic heat drop. Next topic is critical pressure ratio. So P2 by P1. So P1 is the entrance pressure and P2 is the exit pressure. So P2 by P1 is known as the critical pressure ratio and the P2 at throat is known as critical pressure. So we have a relation P2 by P1 is equal to 2 divided by n plus 1 the whole power n by n minus 1. So there are three types of steam flowing through the nozzle. So first one is dry steam, the second one is supersaturated steam, and the third one is wet steam. So if the steam is saturated or if the steam is dry, we take the value for n as 1.135. By substituting the value of n in this equation, we get P2 by P1 is equal to 0.577. Then if the steam is superheated, we take the value of n as 1.3. By substituting the value of n in this equation, we get P2 by P1 is equal to 0.546. When the steam is wet, we take the value for n as 1.132. By substituting the value of n in this equation, we get P2 by P1 is equal to 0.582. So what are the significance of critical pressure ratio that we need to know? So it gives the velocity of steam at the throat equal to the velocity of sound. Then in the convergent portion, the flow is subsonic, and in the divergent portion of the nozzle, the flow is supersonic. So to increase the velocity of steam above supersonic velocity by expanding steam below the critical pressure, the divergent portion for the nozzle is necessary. So we are using the convergent divergent nozzle. Effects of supersaturation. So the temperature at which the steam becomes supersaturated will be less than the saturation temperature corresponding to that pressure. Supersaturated steam will have the density more than that of equilibrium condition. Then supersaturation causes the specific volume and entropy of the steam to get increased. Supersaturation reduces the heat drop and supersaturation increases the dryness fraction of the steam. Effects of friction on nozzles. So the friction in nozzle may increase the entropy. Then the friction in nozzle decreases the energy available. Then friction in the nozzle decreases the velocity of flow at throat. Then friction on nozzles will decrease the volume of flowing steam. Then friction on nozzles increases throat area required to discharge given mass of steam, as the mass of steam is constant throughout the section of the nozzle. Thank you.